everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Haley. Today I'm super excited because we are going to be doing some speed reviews. This is my first time doing a speed reviews video, but I feel like I have to because I've tried so much new makeup and some of it I really need to follow up with you guys about. So let's just get into it. So I want to start with this one because the video that I filmed on it had to get totally trashed, unfortunately. It is the Il Makiage Kathleen Lights palette. I haven't added the stickers to it yet, but you can. It's very cool. It comes with stickers and you can add your stickers to there. I just haven't done it yet. This palette, you guys, I really wish you could have seen that video because my first impression of it was like, this is so gorgeous. This is literally like the closest to my dream palette that I've ever found. I love glitter toppers. I love mattes. There's really only one metallic. Not that I don't like metallics, but it's just really beautiful. And you can create a lot of different looks with it. And the first time I used it, obviously I was really in love with it. And then since when I've used it, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's good, but is it really that good? And then when your eyes catch the light just the right way with these glitter toppers, it is seriously so gorgeous, like ethereal supermodel kind of look, and I'm just wowed again and again. So I really love this. I'm glad I purchased the entire thing. It also came with eyeliners, and the eyeliners are really good too. So I'm happy that I bought the entire collection. Don't get me wrong, it was really expensive, but I am happy that I have it. There is only one thing that is keeping this from being my dream ideal palette, and it is a white or a very light kind of shade. The closest that we have, the lightest shade, is this one here, and even then it's not quite light enough. I like having a really light shadow to set all over the lid, or even to just have as my main base eyeshadow and then put the glitter toppers over it. So I've had to grab for other palettes that have a white in them, which is the only kind of caveat I have with this palette, but I do really like it. Highly recommend if you've been wanting it. I would say it's worth it if you were like me and like you just kept looking at it. And of course, if you have the funds to buy it at the time, I saved up for it. All right, so I'm gonna just start putting these things off to the side. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see them, but that's what I'm gonna do. Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder in Sugar Cookie. I do really like this. I have to say, I've still been reaching for my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder more, but I'm almost out of that. So I'm gonna be using this a heck of a lot more because I'm not gonna buy another powder until I've, pretty much used this one up. I do really like this. I like that this is more lightweight than the Laura Mercier powder. It's a lot more fine. If you have drier skin, I think you would really like this just because it's not as heavy. And it does look really pretty on the skin. I don't know. It's something about the Laura Mercier that I think has more coverage. So I tend to reach for it a little bit more. But I do really like this one too. It does look really pretty. This one, the Tarte Face Tape. Guys, this one is so fickle to me because it is so full coverage that I think you need a really glowy base underneath for it to look good, unless you had really oily skin. I also think that this shade is a little bit too light for me. Actually, okay, I need to be honest. It matches my neck perfectly, but I don't really care about that much as long as it mostly matches. It makes my face look so light that I feel like I have to use a lot of bronzer and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, I just don't think it looks good. If I have a really hydrated base first and I use a really glowy primer, I think it can look really pretty, but I just think it's a little bit too heavy, like it creases on me. And not to say that I'm gonna get rid of it or anything. I do think I probably will use this whole thing up, but I don't think I would repurchase it, if that makes sense. Like, I just don't like it enough to repurchase it, but I don't hate it enough to declutter it, if that makes sense. Guys, Huda Beauty Rose Quartz Palette. This is the biggest surprise of the year for me. I freaking love this palette way more than I even thought that I would, because it looks like there's a lot of color in here, but it just looks so ethereal and pretty. It doesn't look like it's too much, if that makes sense. And also you can create really simple looks with this too if you just use the mattes. My favorite shade, I think it's just one of my favorite eyeshadow shades in general, is this Energized shade. This just looks so beautiful all over the eyes. And these are so shifty. I said this before in a video. If you are someone who loves neutrals, but you want to be a little bit more creative, I think this is an amazing place to start because it's still mostly neutrals, but you can get a lot of creative looks out of it too. I really, really love this. This has become one of my favorite palettes of all time. There, I said it. I love it. Kylie Velvet Lip Kits. So I have Bare Velvet here and Red Velvet here, and boy, are these amazing. I freaking love these. I'm so excited. They are in the Ulta sale. I have a whole video on the Ulta sale. Towards the end of the Ulta sale, these are in them, and run. Seriously, these are so good. They are so pretty. They last all day. They're not super drying because they're not matte. They still have some moisture to them, but they stay really well as long as you also use the liner with them. I also use the liners with different lipsticks, and I really like them that way too. I can kind of swatch these for you. My go-to is definitely Bare Velvet. I get a lot of compliments when I wear this. It's not showing up super well right now, but they are really pigmented. So there's Bare Velvet, so pretty. And then I'll show you Red Velvet also. Like I said, and I love reds, but I feel like I have some go-to reds and this isn't one of them, but I still really like it. For me, this formula is amazing. I definitely want to pick up a couple of more in the Ulta sale, but these are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm so happy that I bought these. Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I hate this. I am not a person that loves this. I love Jessica Braun dearly. She's my favorite YouTuber, but she loves this and I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. This to me does not feel like a true tubing mascara because it smudges all over the place for me. So I bought this when I was in New York and I thought, oh, I'm just not paying super attention to my makeup. That's why it's smudging or something, or it's the weather. My body's not used to it. Then I came back home to Hawaii and it still did it, if not worse. And tubing mascaras should not do that. That is my one thing. Like if you're going to buy a tubing mascara, that's the whole thing. Like they're not supposed to smudge at all. And this one totally does on me. So I just don't like it. And it's not worth the price. There's now drugstore ones that I think are better, so don't like it. I'm definitely going to be decluttering this, which is sad because it's not cheap. This one, on the other hand, is also a tubing mascara. It's the Milani Highly Rated Lash Extensions Mascara. I love this, and Jessica Braun hates it, so it's just interesting. This one is a very wet formula, and it will, because it's so wet, transfer right away. So if you're in a hurry, I wouldn't use this one, but once you let it dry a little bit and then you just kind of brush it away, just like any mascara that transfers when you first put it on, it stays for the rest of the day. I've been in rain with this, I have taken naps with this on, and it does not move. So initially it transfers just because it's wet. Once you get rid of that, it doesn't move for the rest of the day. So I highly recommend this one over that Tartelette one. It's also at the drugstore, so it's way less expensive. This has become my favorite mascara. I love it. I wish it added a little bit more volume, but I do really, really like it. Okay, guys, this has been a roller coaster of a product for me. It's the e.l.f. Whoa Glow Sun Touchable Sunscreen Primer. That's supposed to be the dupe for the Supergoop one. I did a whole video on this and I'm so sad because I really, really love it. It makes your skin look so blurred. You could wear it on its own. It's glowy, it's beautiful. And in that video, I was so upset with myself because normally when I break out from products, it happens pretty quickly within a day. This one took about 3 days for me to finally see the breakouts, but then it breaks out pretty badly and then it's kind of hard to even get rid of the breakouts. It's something in here. I was talking with a friend on Instagram who said it might be the sunflower oil in this, but the next one we're going to talk about also has sunflower oil and I don't remember it doing this. You know, I've tried it and it hasn't broken me out. I think if anything, it's the octisalate. That's what I've heard, that can break you out. The other thing is, I believe that isn't reef safe. So I wouldn't really want to use this anyway because that's not good for the ocean. Also, I'm a little surprised that you can even buy this in Hawaii. I know I've seen this in the drugstores because if it's not reef safe, it's supposed to be outlawed in Hawaii. And I think that's taken effect already. So I don't know, maybe because this is labeled as a primer or something, this is allowed, but I don't believe that this is reef safe. So I wouldn't want to keep using it anyway. And also it does break me out, but I'm really sad because like I said, it was very blurring almost. It has a little bit of a tint to to it. I'll just show you. It has a little bit of a tint to it, just a little bit, and it's really pretty, but I can't wear it. And if it's not reef safe, then shouldn't use it. And I don't know if, I believe that one's what, a chemical sunscreen, and I know they say, is it mineral sunscreens are actually better for you? I'm not sure. I haven't done enough research on it, but I do know that I can't use that. So now let's go to the next one that we were just talking about. It's the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I do really like this. As far as I can see, it doesn't break me out. It is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, but it does add a little bit more coverage. I've talked about this before in other videos. I still like my Maybelline 4-in-1 Glow Makeup a little bit better. I have it right here. It's almost done. This one, because it's a little bit less glowy, and I kind of like that about it. But once that's out, I probably won't buy it again until I've used up this one or a lot more of this one. I think what stops me a little bit from loving this is that it's not really the right shade for me. It's a little bit too dark. I can show you, but I mean, I shouldn't care because I'm never going to use this on its own. I'll always put a foundation over it, but I don't know. It's just one of those shade things where I feel like if I had the right shade, I would like it just a little bit more. But at the time, this was so sold out, you couldn't find it anywhere. So this is the shade 2, and I think I definitely need the shade 1. But I mean, I'm not gonna just buy the other one and get rid of this one. I'll still use this one up. NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in Mont Blanc. This is such a pretty foundation. I really, really like this. It's become one of my favorites. It just looks really natural on the skin, but it also can look really glam. I will say that if you have a little bit more that you wanna cover, I don't think this is the foundation for you, because it builds up to a certain extent, but then it just starts to look like too much. So if you have other things to cover, I wouldn't necessarily reach for this one. But if you're pretty happy with, you know, where your skin's at, and you could have more to cover and still be happy with your skin, where your skin's at. I'm not trying to say that, but I do think as somebody that used to have really bad cystic acne and does still get breakouts, when I had those breakouts from the e.l.f. Whoa Glow, I wasn't necessarily using this because I don't think it looks that good over blemishes. Just my personal opinion, but as a foundation in general, it is really, really pretty. Definitely, I would say like lower medium coverage, but it is really pretty. e.l.f. Luminous Putty bronzers. I like these. I have to say that I've been using this one in Vacay Mood a lot more than this other one, which is in Summer Fridays, I believe. Just because I love that it's more of a true contour shade. It just gives a really pretty shadow. I used it today, actually. I will say though that they're not that pigmented, which can be a good thing, but if you're in a rush, I wouldn't necessarily use these because they're not super quick and easy to apply. I definitely have to build these up a little bit to be able to see them, but I do like them, and I have been using Vacay Mood a lot to create a contour. So if you have a little bit more time in the morning when you're getting ready, I would say you can use those. If not, I'd say just go with the regular putty bronzers because they're a little bit more pigmented, so I think they'd be a little faster to apply, but I still like them as products. All right, we have the e.l.f. New Classics palette. You guys, this is what I used today. I really love this palette for quick and easy eye look, which is exactly what I did today. I used this, just the mattes in here. It is super, super quick. I love how big the pan sizes are because that also makes it a little bit faster. I think the mattes in here are really pretty, really buttery. The shimmers are something to be desired. They're not bad, but I definitely wouldn't reach for these shimmers first unless I was just trying to be super quick and use one palette, but I do think that this is worth it. It's not very expensive and you can create a lot of different looks with it. If you're a neutrals lover, I think you'd really like it. Like I said, I especially love the mattes in here, so I do really like this. NYX Smooth Whip Matte Lip Creams. I love these. I think they might be my new favorite lip product. They're so pigmented. They stay on really well, but they're hydrating. They're not overly drying, and they're just so, so pretty. I have 2 shades here. I have Parfait, and I definitely would say I think I like Parfait better, but they are both really pretty, and this one is something cherry, right? Cherry cream, I always forget. But I love how moussey these are. They're just thick and moussey. They're not going to dry out your lips, but they stay on really well throughout the day. I am so happy that NYX came out with these, and I really want to get some more. So really, really love these. And I've worn these all day for like a 14-hour day, and they still stayed on really well without me having to look in the mirror a lot. Highly recommend. Okay, Rare Beauty eye brightener in light. Guys, I don't know. I think this is just a meh kind of product. I can't totally get it to work on me. I feel like I've tried it under concealer, I've used it over concealer, and it looks pretty for a while, but by the end of the day, a couple hours in, it just looks really crepey under my eyes. It's almost like it's too hydrating for me. I've also worn it on its own, and it does look pretty for a while when you wear it on its own, but eventually it just ends up looking really crepey. So I'll probably end up decluttering this. I don't see myself using this up, which is unfortunate because it's not cheap. Again, it's at Sephora. I love Rare Beauty, but this is just a product that doesn't really work for me. e.l.f. lip glosses. This is the e.l.f. lip lacquers. I have this in Black Cherry and Cherry Balm. I'm gonna be decluttering these, you guys. They're just not good. There's other lip glosses at the drugstore that I like way better. For one thing, I'm not even just a huge fan of lip glosses in general. I like to try them, but this one, they're kind of sticky. They're not very pigmented. It's just kind of like a wash flush of color. Yeah, I just think there's way better ones at the drugstore, and I'd be willing to pay a few dollars more for a lip gloss that's just better. That's my thoughts on that. The NARS Dragon Girl, their Power Matte Lipsticks. I do really like this, but one thing I will say is this is one that you have to really check on throughout the day. It can be drying if you don't make sure to moisturize your lips before you put it on, and it doesn't stay on super well throughout the day. This is one that you definitely have to apply. So this is like more of a weekend kind of lip for me, whereas it wouldn't be a work lip because I don't have a lot of times throughout the day I can go to the bathroom and look in the mirror as a teacher, and so I need something that I know is just going to stay on and I don't really have to worry about it. This is not, and I do have reds like that, but this is not one of them. But I do like it. Just know it can be kind of drying, and I don't think it lasts that well throughout the day. Tarte Sculpt Tape. You guys, I love this. I literally have to stop myself from using it every day. And I think what I love about it is that it's really pigmented, but more than anything, I love that it's so quick to apply. I love this applicator. I know some people don't like it because it's not super hygienic, but it's so quick to just boop, 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 and just blend it in super quickly. I love that about this. So it looks nice, but it's also really quick in the morning if I'm in a hurry. So I love this. I haven't tried the Charlotte Tilbury one that this is supposed to be a dupe for, but I do really like this. And I really want to try the Flower Beauty one to see if that one is a dupe for this, because this is pricey, which is why I stop myself from using it every day. I also think that you can really sheer this one out. I think you could possibly get a darker color if that's all you can find and just put one really light dot on your cheek and then blend it out. I think it will still work for the most part. Unless, I mean, I wouldn't go super, super deep, but I do think you could go a shade deeper in this and still be okay, because this is a little bit too deep for me, but it still works really well. e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. I have a lot of blushes. I like this, but again, it's not that pigmented. So if you wanted to be quick, I guess you could if you don't care that it's not that pigmented. I think it's also just the shade. Not that the shade looks bad. You can see in the video where I tested this out, it does end up looking nice, but I just don't think it's the right shade for me. It's just the only one I could find at the time, and I really wanted to test this out for you guys. So I don't know. I think I'm going to end up decluttering this. It's not that I don't like it. I'm just not crazy about the shade, and I definitely like the Luminous Putty bronzers more than I like this one. But if I had a different shade, I might feel differently. So I guess I'll keep you posted on that one. O-Face lipsticks. Guys, I mean, they're nice, but I really don't get the hype. I really don't. I have a video on this. So here's Shameless. This one is No Regrets, kind of a pinkier red. And then the other one I have is Dirty Talk. Definitely my favorite of the three I bought is Dirty Talk. I actually really loved Allie Glines' video on this, and she didn't make hers till after I had made mine. And I totally agree with her. It's a nice formula, but I don't think the shades are that wearable. I think if you like to be a little creative, I think that this one could be good for you, but I just think there are better lipsticks at the drugstore, and they might be, again, a few dollars more, but they just have better shades. shades. I don't think that this is anything revolutionary. And for me, I prefer my lipsticks to be a little bit more matte than this because it just is going to end up kind of transferring. So I don't know. I think I'm probably going to end up decluttering these. I'm actually doing a lipstick declutter video immediately after I film this one. So we'll see if it makes it. I might keep like one. I don't know. I have not reached for them, if that says anything. And last but not least, we have the Makeup Revolution Minnie Mouse palette. This one, I'm going to be doing a palette declutter video soon. I don't know. I like it, and I think you can create a lot of really fun pink looks with it. But my question is, how often am I going to be making really fun pink looks? I almost am happier with the blush shades, which can also be used as bronzer shades, than I am with the actual eyeshadows. But then I don't have a lot of color, so part of me feels like I should keep it just to have something that has a little more color in it. I don't know. I'll have to think about this one, about whether to declutter it, but I guess this is a review video, so I should probably just tell you how I feel about it. I like this. I think they're really good. I think they're really pigmented. If you like pinks, I think you're gonna love this palette. If you're more of a neutral lover, I still think it's a little bit too creative leaning for me as somebody that loves neutrals, because even these gold shades are really gold. They're not more brown toned, they really are gold. So they're super pigmented though. It's a really pretty palette. I actually really love the blush shades, like I said. I'm not really getting a whole lot of use out of it. I think I've used it maybe 3 times since I bought it. If that tells you anything. All right, guys, that is my thoughts on everything I've purchased since December, I believe. I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will subscribe and give it a like. And if you're already subscribed, I hope you'll hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.